Vagrant Story is a role-playing video game released in 2000 for the PlayStation console. The game's story revolves around the protagonist, Ashley Riot, a member of a group called Risk Breakers. The game takes place in a fictional world called Valandia and features a unique battle system that includes real-time weapons. Story is one of the most underrated video games on the PlayStation console because of its unique and complex praise from critics and gamers alike. Storyline, it was overlooked by many due to its unconventional design and steep learning curve. However, the game's intricate plot, engaging characters, and challenging gameplay make it a must-play for unparalleled attention to detail, looking for a truly immersive intricate weapon crafting system to its stunningly rendered environments. Legend of Legaia is a role-playing game for PlayStation 1 released in 1998. In the game, players take on the role of a young hero named Vaughn, together with his companions by an Noah and Gala. Vaughn embarks on a quest to stop the spread of the mist and save the world. The game is considered one of the 5 underrated video games on PS1 because it was overshadowed by other RPGs of the time. However, such as Legend of Legaia features a unique and engaging combat system that allows players to input special moves by combining different button inputs, resulting in a variety of powerful attacks. Additionally, the game boasts an immersive world with a rich backstory and memorable characters. The game's graphics and music are also impressive for its time, adding to the overall experience. Despite its merits, Legend of Legaia was often overlooked when it was released. However, it remains a hidden gem for RPG enthusiasts and is worth checking out for its unique combat system, engaging story, and memorable characters. Threads of Fate is an action RPG game that was released for the PlayStation 1 in the year 2000. The game follows 2 characters, Rue, a young man who can transform into monsters, and Mint, the game has 2 different storylines, to find a way to resurrect her brother, character, and the player can choose which character they want to play. Both storylines are filled with interesting characters, exciting battles, and plenty of magic. One of the reasons why Threads of Fate is considered an underrated game is because it didn't receive as much attention as some of the more popular PS1 games at the time. However, the game has a lot to offer, including a unique storyline, fun gameplay, and excellent graphics that still hold up today. Another reason why Threads of Fate is underrated is because it was released at a time when there were many other popular RPG games available on the PlayStation, such as Final Fantasy and Legend of Dragoon. Threads of Fate manages to stand out with its charming characters, engaging storyline, and entertaining gameplay. Overall, Threads of Fate is a hidden gem of a game that is definitely worth playing. It may not be as well known as some of the other PS1 games, but it certainly deserves a place on any gamer's list of underrated titles. Shoot-'em-up video game developed by Squaresoft for the Sony PlayStation in 1997. The player takes on the role of a lone pilot who must complete various missions using a customizable spacecraft. The game features fast-paced action, intense boss battles, and a unique side-scrolling perspective that allows players to move their ship forward and backward on the screen. Is often overlooked by gamers and critics alike. This is likely because the game was released late in the PlayStation's life cycle and was overshadowed by other popular titles at the time. Einhander deserves recognition as one of the most underrated video games on the PS1 for several reasons. First, the game's graphics and sound are top-notch, pushing the limits of what was possible on the PlayStation at the time. Secondly, the game's innovative gameplay mechanics set it apart from other shoot-'em-ups and make it a must-play for fans of the genre. The game's difficulty curve is well-balanced, offering a challenge without being frustratingly difficult. Einhander is an underrated gem that deserves more recognition in the video game community. Its blending of sci-fi aesthetics, shooting game mechanics, and 2D gameplay make it a classic that deserves to be remembered. Alundra is a video game released on PS1 in 1997. It is an action-adventure game where you control a young man named Alundra. He has the ability to enter people's dreams to solve their problems and save the land of Torla from a dark force. The game is underrated because it didn't receive as much attention as other popular games on the PS1 like Final Fantasy VII or Crash Bandicoot. Alundra has a compelling story, challenging puzzles, and unique gameplay mechanics that set it apart from other games. Players must explore the world of Torla, fight monsters, and solve puzzles to progress through the game. The game's difficulty can be challenging at times, but it adds to the sense of accomplishment when you finally solve a difficult puzzle or defeat a tough boss. The game also has a variety of interesting and memorable characters that add to the story's depth and make the player invested in their struggles. Overall, Alundra is an underrated gem on the PS1 that deserves more attention for its engaging story, challenging gameplay, and memorable characters.